Hello, everyone. I'm Jen Maurer, Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, and today we have a fun throwback. We are throwing it back to some of Gettysburg's greatest games and currently trying to ask all the current head coaches at the college what their most memorable game was. And for head women's soccer coach Matt Garrett, he said November 1st, 2014 at 6th ranked Johns Hopkins University. And joining us today is Brigid Behan, a 2015 graduate from Newport, Rhode Island. And she's going to be talking with us a little bit about the game. But before we dive into the game, just want to share a little bit leading up to that Johns Hopkins game, since it was the last regular season game. The 2014 season started off with no easy task for the Bullets as they faced number 1 ranked William Smith College. To the Clark Field is also the reigning national champions. And Bullets went head toe-to-toe with them, lost 1-0. Midway through the season, they're 4-3-1. And after that, things started rolling in the win column. They went on an 8-game winning streak, with 7 of those being shutouts heading into the Johns Hopkins game. The Bullets were 8-1 in the Centennial Conference, and Johns Hopkins was 9-0. So, Brigid, heading into the Johns Hopkins game, what was the plan heading into the game?
Game plan, as far as I can remember, it was just to beat them, obviously. To be honest, that Hopkins game was the apex of our 4 years, because we played Hopkins at the end of every single season. And, from freshman year, I think we lost like 6-0 against them, and then we just got closer and closer. Every single year, it was the end of our season, we played Hopkins. And we weren't, we're playing them on Homewood Field. We knew that it's a big stadium. It's got a little colder field just because it's not as full as Clark Field, obviously not the home field advantage. But, we had a big game plan, but in the end, we had to focus on, as far as I can remember, they had one star player. Well, they had a lot of star players, but they had a star player that we had to shut out. Now, that being said, we had a lot of experience with shutouts, given that we had a great defense, and coming into that game, we were super confident in that needing to be that was our game plan. That being said, we all were just really behind coach, if nothing else, because he had never gotten to 13 wins in a season. And so we're sitting here like, hey, us seniors, we've never beat Hopkins. We've never hosted as seniors in all of our 4 years, because that would allow us to host the Centennial Conference Championship. And like I said, the apex of it all, the height of our season, the height of our 4 years. So it was just a culmination of it all. We really wanted to get to coach to 13 games, and that win would have given it to us. And it did. Spoiler alert.
And I was just going to say, too, so you're warming up at Homewood Field. You're getting ready. The whistle blows for the start of the first half. What's going through your head?
So Hopkins always came out hot, for lack of a better professional saying. So we knew that we had to match their intensity, but it was always so naturally cold at Homewood because of the time that we were playing them. We always played them in November. I think one year it actually got canceled because of snow, or, postponed. So we had to just be warm. We had to just stay warm. When the whistle blew, we just knew we had to match their intensity that we knew was coming. Hopkins was top 10 the entire season in the country. So we knew that they weren't going to just be lackadaisical, or that we could catch them, in an off game. So we knew that we have to be like, whistle blew, we had to act our best and play our best. So.
Yeah, and an interesting fact, too, coming into the game, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I have this right, but Johns Hopkins had allowed only 1 goal in its previous 6 matches, and you scored 2. So we're going to kind of walk you through, because not only you were a part of both of those goals, you assisted on the first one. So kind of take us through how that first goal went about.
Well, I think it was shortly after they scored, and we were like I said, I'm looking freshman year, we lost, I think 6-0 or something. So I'm like, wow, this game could go south real quick, and we can't afford that. So right after, I think I don't know, Lauren Shapiro, she had just missed a couple, like just barely. So we knew that we were getting really close. It wasn't just a lucky goal on her part. And we had we had been doing really well on the wing the whole year. So, I think we took the ball down the wing, passed it to her, I think, and then she was able to chip it over, which she was very good at. And the important thing was coach was always so intent on us getting it right back after. If you lose the ball, get it back within 60 seconds or 20 seconds. I don't know. Don't lose the ball at all. But if you get scored on, score right back. So honestly, that was the best thing we could have done. We scored right after them and kind of took we stole their enthusiasm right from under their feet. So
yeah, I was just gonna say, and then obviously heading into halftime, it was tied 1-1, and then the second half happened. So, and we scored again. So go ahead and talk about how that second goal went about.
Oh, I honestly think, so I actually, not to make this about me, but I had been battling, I had surgery previous in that summer. So I was having to get taken out pretty frequently. So I think I came back in from having to sit out for about 10 minutes and like rest my calves. And we just, we were hammering them. We had made them tired. We were in great shape. And again, just defending the whole time, we could really rely on Eliza, Meg, Mary, the back line. And I remember, like I said, on the wings, we were doing really well. And Hannah Tyre, a girl tried to fake her out and she stole it. And then Georgia passes it, great line into Georgia in the middle. I don't know how Georgia saw me, and I blacked out. And I know a lot of people say that during that moment, but I absolutely did. And Georgia found me just in a crease, and I was able to put it low corner. And I just ran around like I didn't know what to do. So it was the best moment of arguably my life. So.
Well, I was going to say that was your second game winner too of the season, and it came at a very crucial time as well.
Had I known that game, I guess I just should have scored more game winners if I knew that it would get me this attention even 6 years later. But don't tell coach that. He'd be like, what? Yes, you should have scored more game winners. But yeah.
Well, I was just going to say too, kind of looking at the stats from that season, really, it was all spread out. There was really no one person who was the main scorer. And would you say that was an advantage, really?
Yeah, like I said, I think I mentioned earlier in this, what was our game plan? Stop their main scorer. So really, I would completely agree with that. What are they going to say? Okay, stop every offensive player that they have. That's really difficult to do. So they had to expect a goal from every single one of us, because I think every single, offensive player scored at a very crucial time in that season.
Yeah, and then looking, at the end of the game, it looks like Johns Hopkins took a shot in the last, I think, couple minutes, but Eliza was able to make that save. So the horn goes off, the game's over. What's everyone's initial thought?
We all ran to coach because of his 13th win. Honestly, it was, I kid you not trying to, no word of a lie, that meant so much to us. And everything afterwards, the fact that we could make NCAAs, the fact that we were hosting on Clark, like I said, we beat Hopkins, and we had not done that in all 4 years. We beat Hopkins on Homewood Field. We beat Hopkins to become first in the Centennial Conference. We had not done any of those things in all 4 years. And it really set the tone. We were very close with the team above, or the class above that, who graduated in 2014. And they were all at they knew what it meant to us, because it meant something to them, even though they had graduated. They were all in the stands. That was the one game they all showed up to. So it was really, again, to echo what I said earlier, it was the apex of our career to just have all of those firsts that we were able to do. So I just remember running. We all ran it was a mix between running towards Eliza and running towards coach. And then we just all came together in the middle.
Yeah, and then I was going to say, obviously, that clinch, as you just mentioned, first place for the Centennial Conference playoffs and hosting, which was something, obviously, as you just said, it was really cool. And then you guys made it to semifinals, unfortunately falling to Swarthmore. But you earned an at-large bid for the first time since 2004 and the first time under head coach Matt Garrett. So, in talking to Coach, he had mentioned, and I think he would probably agree, that you probably thought in the years prior you should have made it, but you finally did during your senior year. So how did that feel?
Oh my gosh. Definitely the year prior, we all thought we could get an at-large bid. But I remember we all didn't have class. It was Monday afternoon, and we're sitting on pages in my class. We're sitting on a rug, just like looking. We just weren't getting our hopes up. We were all pretty heartbroken because the year prior we're juniors. At least we have a whole nother year. It was just make or break at that point, and you really didn't want to get your hopes up. And I remember we were just sitting and like doing homework, and our name got called first because Messiah was one on the top in the country, so they did their bracket first, and we played at Messiah. And they just were like, and Gettysburg. And someone was just like, did they just say Gettysburg? So it was very unexpected, but it was deserved, if that makes sense. And it just felt like, it was like, okay, my world just got flipped right back side up because we're going to practice today. We are, we have a full week of practice. And, it was just an amazing feeling and just a deserved feeling. Because like you alluded to, and, what I want to say is that it was 2-3 years of us feeling like we deserved it. And we didn't get it for one reason or another. So it just really felt deserved as opposed to us just having a really good year that one year. So it was, it was a lot of buildup behind that bid.
It's been 5 years since you've graduated from Gettysburg. So what have you been up to since 2015?
Yes, so I prolonged my real world experience for about a year. I went to Europe. Then I was in sales, which was good, competitive mindset. And then I actually worked for, which was, my big career shift was with, I worked for a wine company called Fit Vine Wine, and it's a healthy wine. And I was actually their first employee. So it really, I was their national event coordinator. They're now in all 50 states. So it grew from one employee to, around 30 employees. It's a great wine. And what's unique about it was healthy. So I got to work with a lot of the events that I did was with CrossFit and North Face and, stuff like that. So it was really, I could hone in on my athletic and my, competitive, and, I'd look at the two owners as my coaches, and it brought me back into like what I really loved. And that was being on a team and learning. That being said, with with events and everything, that with COVID, that was also canceled. So I now am at University of Tennessee in Knoxville, getting my MBA with business analytics and marketing. So I'm back to Orange, and I'm loving it down here. It's a really cool place. And like I said earlier, Gettysburg was the stop in between Newport and Knoxville. It's the perfect in between, ironically. So I knew it was a good choice.
I was going to say, once a bullet, always a bullet, and you always bleed orange, no matter where you go.
Exactly.
Well, Brigid, thank you so much for joining and for kind of throwing us back. And I'm sure it was fun thinking about the flashback of that game as well. So thank you for that. And for everyone watching, I hope you enjoyed this as well. And make sure to stay tuned to see who we will feature next in the Gettysburg Great Games. Jen Maurer signing off. So until next time, go Bullets.